a fire, we can escape, right?
I'll leave the key in the door.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna lock the door, but we won't come back in until they
Right. Just flag us down if we are not paying attention. Wow, it'll be weird to be here alone.
Now if somebody whispers, we have a big problem.
I know. Welcome to Knit Together with Kim and Jonna. I'm Jonna.
And I'm Kim.
And we're here in our local yarn shop, Pick Up Every Stitch in Mount Kisco, New York.
Yes.
And speaking of, this Saturday is local yarn shop day. But it will have already happened by the time the video comes out. But we're super, super excited.
Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know who else is coming besides Max the Knitter is coming, Maxim Sear, and Vincent from Lake Arson.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jen Tolland.
Jen Shields Tolland.
Mm-hmm.
And other podcasters. Are Kevin and Ray coming?
I have no idea.
Kevin
No, didn't you
Kate?
say they usually go to the Connecticut Yarn Crawl or something?
Oh, the Connecticut Sheep and Wool
Sheep and Wool.
Festival
Mm-hmm.
is actually this Saturday also. Otherwise, we would have gone to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be really fun. I think they're extending their hours that day. Usually it's 12 to 4. I think it'll be 12 to 5.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
I did.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, and we got to sneak and see something that no one else has seen that will be, I don't know, what do you say, when a yarn is released?
Yes.
For a local yarn shop day. It's a special Pick Up Every Stitch colorway developed by Vincent from Lake Arson. And
You get to see it.
my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's really beautiful.
I know. If you like combined all my favorite colors into a yarn, this would be it.
I'm going to have to knit something with that.
I know. I don't know what.
I mean,
You know what?
I've never done a Sophie scarf, but that would be so pretty.
Well, that was my first
Or
thought.
a Sophie. What's the small one? The scarf. Mm-hmm.
And or a Sophie shawl. But then I thought, oh, the novice sweater or the novice cardigan. And this would be beautiful. I'm not a big speckled person, so I'm going to have to give that some thought. Or maybe hold this with some plain mohair.
Yeah.
Not the speckled mohair. But oh my goodness, it's
Yeah.
blues and grays and greens. And it was interesting to hear about the process. So they Zoomed with Vincent and talked about, I guess what colors they wanted. And then he came up with like a mock, I guess. And they said, okay, can you tweak this a little bit more gray? And this almost made Karen cry. The name of this colorway is Karen's Pearl, P-U-R-L, after Pearl, the shop dog who is about to turn 2.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Felicia named it after Karen's dog. So I guess all the colorways have like somebody's something. So she's stuck with the convention and called it Karen's
Maybe I'll
Pearl.
make 2 Sophie scarves and I'll give one to Pearl so she can wear it. Wouldn't that
She's
be
going to have
fun?
to wear it for local yarn shop day. That would be so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So fun.
So yes, that will be released by the time the video comes out. So, speaking of appearances, this video will come out the day before we are at Maryland Sheep and Wool in
Yay!
Maryland. Yeah, for the first time. So we're gonna road trip and
Bring our husbands.
Bring our husbands. Spend a couple nights. Teddy's going to the Teddy care. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Is he going to camp again?
He's
No.
going to camp.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
going to camp again. He goes up in Carmel, New York, to Instinct dog training. So, yeah, they're really great up there.
Is it the same woman who comes to your house and is a knitter?
She's affiliated with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Misa. Hi, Misa.
Hi, Lisa.
So, yeah, he's going to go up there and not get any treats because last time we had a little bit of tummy trouble. So
Well, no cheese treats.
no cheese treats. And I'm going to just boil some chicken for him just to, keep it easy breezy. And he's actually going, they were like, his hair is so long, we're having trouble putting on his harness, which is totally true. Because my husband didn't want him to get a short haircut, but he's going this Friday and he's getting trimmed big time. So he is going to look like a different dog. Oh my gosh. I have a picture. I don't know if I took it landscape or not, but if I can have her put in the picture, we gave Teddy a bath. He looks like a completely different
Oh, with
dog.
his hair all wet?
With his hair all wet. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
that'll be so funny. Maybe you can
It
get
is
it before and
so-
after. Oh,
yeah.
you already did it.
It is so funny, but I don't know if I took him landscape. So
That's
anyway,
okay. I can make it work.
but
She says that because YouTube pictures work out better when they're taken landscape for YouTube, and then for Instagram they're better portrait, not portrait mode, but up and down.
Yeah.
So
and podcasters who are alone, who don't have a partner, they can put the up and down picture, the portrait picture, you know, on their right or on their left. But since there's two of us, there's nowhere to put it on the screen.
when we're splitting the screen with the picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to cover one of us up.
Yeah.
So.
I just have it insert. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So stay tuned to our community tab on YouTube or Instagram for where we'll be at Maryland Sheep and Wool, because we don't have any idea. We've never been there. So we thought we'd hang out at somebody's booth.
Yeah.
You know, so we could be in one place at one time to say hi to members and, you know, those of you who've, you know, written to us and given us tips. And yeah, speaking of, we have a special... This is what I had to ask him. I'm like, is it okay if we spend this money? But we had custom stitch markers made at the suggestion of Donna Bianco. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And they're, I don't know, we're going to insert a picture.
Yeah.
They turned out really, really cute. So yeah. Anyway.
It's fun.
We had them custom made at Catrinkles.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be handing those out at Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Oh, do we need more of the little, because we usually have those little bags.
No, I have a bunch.
And then do we need more
I have candy.
mince candy to put
I
in
don't
there?
think so.
Okay.
So we make little goodie bags.
Stickers.
and stickers and buttons. And,
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be really, really fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So when we get there that day on Saturday, unless we know something ahead of time, because we do know of some of the vendors. We've been to those vendors. We've bought yarn from them, but I don't know if they personally know us. So we may reach out to them and see if they want us to hang out, or if we could hang out by their booth, because it's just easier for people to find us if we say a specific booth or something.
Right. Because there's no hill like there is at Rhinebeck.
Right. Otherwise, so if we find out ahead of time, we'll post it ahead of time on our YouTube community page and on Instagram. But if we don't, we'll just go there Saturday morning, and we'll probably our time to meet people will be in the afternoon. But we'll post it on Instagram and our community page that day, Saturday. So we hope to see you there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, really fun.
What else?
Oh, the giveaway?
Yes.
I don't know. Do you want to wait till the end? Do you want to do it now?
I don't know. Will it force people to watch all the way?
I always think that's annoying when they're like, okay, I'll just tell you at the end.
Yeah, no, we can do it now. It's exciting.
And we said that for giveaways, you know, we'll never announce it anywhere else but here on our channel from our own mouths. So,
you know what else I don't do? I stopped putting it in the titles.
Oh, okay.
And even in Instagram posts,
Right.
I don't really put it in there anymore, because that's like, if they have an algorithm,
Come
the
scam
scammers.
us. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, we had a giveaway.
Yes. And for the first time, I used that comment picker. Yeah, and it worked great. It was awesome. You put in the link to the episode and, you know, eliminate repeat comments or whatever.
Replies.
Yeah, replies. And then you just literally press a button.
Thank you, because you know what I usually do?
I know.
I usually just count the number of comments.
Oh, we've spent hours
do a
choosing.
random generator, and then I literally manually count through the comments.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if it's
So
one of
high-tech.
our replies or something, or someone who works at the shop, then, you know, then we have to do it all over again.
Yeah.
So anyway, this worked great. And I sent you a screenshot, and the winner is...
Janet Shepard.
Yay!
Yay!
You won Only Yoking by Olga Putano.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who knows, we're notorious for sticking something extra in the package.
Yeah.
So who knows, we might do that. Definitely one of our stitch markers.
Yeah, for sure.
So please email us your address. We will not contact you in any other way other than this announcement right now. So please email us. Our email is here in our YouTube channel. I'm not even going to say it because I always say it wrong. I'll put it in a caption as well if you want. But yeah, so email us and we'll mail it out to you as soon as possible.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
What else?
That's it.
I think that's it. Wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't very much administration today.
No.
Exciting.
So, you want to get right to it?
Sure.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay. I'm looking at your list.
By the way, we are alone in the shop right now.
We've never been alone. It's not like mom and dad are are gone and left us home alone.
Yeah, we want to invite all our teenage friends
know.
and come over, have a party, have a knitting party, bring wine.
Well, I was telling them as they walked out the door, there's just this level of comfort having them here. You know, they're in charge. They, you know, and then we can always yell over the partition, you know, who's the designer on this? Blah, blah,
Now you'll
blah.
just hear cricket, cricket if we try to do that.
Yeah, so they went to go run an errands, and
Yeah,
yeah,
they left us here alone.
I know.
Eh,
There's cameras though.
time to shop. Oh gosh.
I know.
Do we really need to film the video? Anyway,
Yeah,
we could try
I
on
already
all the
spent money
samples and
waiting
run
for
around.
you to get here. I spent some money. So
Okay, so let's see. I will talk about what I'm wearing.
Yay!
My stomach keeps growling. Oh my goodness. So I am wearing my Here Comes the Sun by Olga Putano. And it's knit in Julie Asseline. The main color is Mélange #1 in the color Trench. And the color work is in Journey Sport. And the 3 colors, I did find out what that 3rd color was.
Oh, okay.
So how do you say these? I don't speak French. Verge d'Or,
d'Or,
Fleur,
Fleur.
and Rousseau.
Yeah, I guess so.
Something like that. I came in here and brought my yarn with me, and because online, if I try to compare it to colors online, I can't. It doesn't match. So I brought it in
Is she
here.
a Canadian yarn?
Yes.
dyer?
Yes. So I've talked a lot about this in the videos leading up to this. You know, in the last video, I think I had one sleeve done or almost done. So for a lot of those details, you can just go watch that video. But I did swatch and I didn't get gauge. There are 9 sizes in the pattern. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from Jonna. What would Jonna do? Is that sacrilegious? WWJD?
It's only because I watch so many podcasts, so I see what other people are doing, and I think, oh, that's a good idea. So
Yeah. So I thought to look it up first.
Yeah.
It will fit a 36 to 68 inch finished bust. I made a size 3. I thought I would want to make a size 2, but again, listen to this is episode 18. Listen to episode 17. I talk all about how I cast on over 20 times that night. Part of the mistake was I didn't have a small enough circumference
needle.
circular needle at home. I didn't have a smaller cable, and so I made the bigger size simply for that reason, because I had to cast on. It was a twisted German cast on, which I haven't done a lot, and of course it's right in my neckline, so when it looked messy or wonky, I started over. But in the end, yeah, I cast on over 20 times, and then I went to bed, as many viewers recommended, because I posted on Instagram, and I woke up and I was able to do it the next morning. I also did not my first make ones, there's make ones, it's a circular yoke, so there's make ones in the color work, and at the top of the pink flower petals, I had to make ones on either side of the pink flower petals, and I picked up the wrong, what's it called? Float.
Or bar.
I picked up a pink float, and it made little pink wings on the tops of my petals. And I actually worked all the way down to the first set of 3 color rows, and just it kept bugging me. And then I messaged Olga Putano, who we've met multiple times. She's so sweet. And she messaged back, and then I asked you, and I also looked it up. I should have picked up, especially where I was making one. If you're making one between 2 stitches of the same color, you can pick up that color bar. But if you're making one on the edge of a color, between 2 colors, you should pick up the new color or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, I talk about it in episode 17. I also, when I did the 3 color rows, I had started them when I did it first before I ripped back to fix the little wings, and didn't really like the way I was doing the 3 color rows, so when I got back to them I was kind of happy I had done that, because then I tried a new way, and my final way was really to hold all 3 strands on my in my left hand, on my left index finger, and I did make a video of how I did that, so if you want to watch that, that's also on YouTube. Modifications, I made the body longer. Hers was more cropped, and of course, as we know, I don't wear cropped sweaters, so my body is 13 inches long, and it has a 2-inch rib. I also did 1x1 rib instead of 2x2 rib. And the most of the reason, there were all these extra details in the sweater. This rib was always 1x1, the neck rib. The bottom rib and the sleeve rib was supposed to be 2x2. And then the sleeves were supposed to be kind of, I kept calling them balloon sleeves, but I guess they're bell sleeves. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Is a balloon more a short sleeve that goes like this? I don't know. I'll use clothing historian, designer.
And then I'm thinking the bishop sleeves that I had on my sweater. So
people understood what I meant.
Yeah.
But they're more voluminous in her design. But all those details, I just wanted the color work to be the star. So that's why the bottom rib was the first one. I just said, you know what? I'm going to do 1x1 rib. And I did. I did
went
2.
off pattern.
I did. 2 inches of 1x1 rib. And then the other modifications I made was, yes, I made the sleeves straight. I also, as you can tell, I made the sleeves straight. And the color work was supposed to be, her sleeves are more voluminous, and the color work was supposed to be up here more, and then more, main color, and then the rib, and then a really fast decrease for the rib to make those voluminous sleeves. So I wanted my color work at the bottom, right above the rib, so I did, the increases were 4, I'm sorry, not increases, the decreases were 4 decreases, and I just did 2 more sets of 4 decreases. And it just ended up the perfect length. And then I did the color work. And the way I knew how long to do it is I measured the color work on the body to see how many rows, how many inches this many rows of color work would be. And then I stopped, and it just worked out perfectly. It was just like it was meant to be. And then I did the color work, and I did 1x1 rib on the sleeves too. My sleeves are 19 inches long from the underarm. And it turns out the chest bust measurement that I ended up with was 46 inches. And I'm about a 40 and a half, 41 inch bust. So it's not too much positive ease.
Not at all.
Perfect.
It looks good.
I absolutely love it. The only thing is I blocked it flat, and it had like a crease down here. So sometimes this sticks out. It bothers me. And I tried to steam it out, but it's fine. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
I love it so much. I love the colors. And it fits me perfectly. And I hope it's cool enough. I would love to wear it to local yarn shop day. I don't know if
I think it's supposed to be cool.
Nice.
We had a couple of 90-degree days, which is, I looked it up, what it was in Celsius. Is it 32?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was warm. Like 2 weeks ago.
It was ridiculously. It was like
right before we filmed the spring and summer knits video.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't knit anything wool. We turned on our air conditioning.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we're back now to windy, cool spring, and the great pollinating is happening now.
Yes,
all the cars are covered in pollen. There was some frost on my car this morning.
Really? Yeah, it was. So I tried to sit outside today while I was editing a video, and
it was chilly.
It was cold. I was at first I started sitting in the sun, and then the clouds came over, and then forget it, I couldn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I love my sweater, and thank you, Olga, so much for designing this, and now I want to find my next Olga sweater to knit. Maybe a yoke, maybe a cable yoke. But I have a cable yoke in my queue. My Sari Nordland sweater. Anyway, so I love it. Thank you, Julie, for this beautiful. The yarn is just heavenly.
And you didn't alternate skeins.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Crazy. No pooling at all.
I'm too lazy to alternate skeins.
I always get confused. I have alternated skeins, but when those slip stitches occur in an area where you're supposed to be increasing or decreasing, I panic. And I don't know exactly how to deal with that. I know there's a few videos, and I've watched them. And so if I ever have to do that again, I'll have to go back and watch those.
Yeah.
But it'd be much easier to do, I think, in a circular yoke, because I feel like you could just knit a few stitches past where your increase or decrease is going to be. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But anyway, that scares me.
Well, it's done, and I'm so happy, and I think everybody should knit one. There's only, as I said before, 3 color rows. There's 1 set in the yoke. No, 2 sets in the yoke, 1 set on the body, and then 1 set on each sleeve. So there's like 15 3 color rows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not bad.
No.
They seem endless when you're doing them, but
Yeah.
it's not bad. And the result is just gorgeous. So I'm so happy.
It's beautiful.
Yay! And what are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing the Amy Slipover. Yay!
Yes, so exciting.
Oh, let me just grab my leftover yarn. It was kind of a bummer. I had to break into, so I bought 4 skeins of the Sandnes Garn Sunday and 4 skeins of Biche Bouche silk mohair. I think this is the color dark blue-gray. And this is blue-black, I believe. Anyway, Amy Slipover by Sandnes Garn, and it's in the book, which I brought, which I won't lean over and get, but it's in the book Mikt Till Dam, which means soft for women. And it's a one-size pattern. That said, I feel like you could totally just increase, in the center and in the, in the front and the back. So the finished front and back is 43 centimeters, so 17 inches for each front and each back. And when I blocked it and measured, I pretty much got exactly what the schematic said I should. So yeah, so one size. And so it's a DK weight pattern because I held fingering with the silk mohair. And I knit it on a US size 4, the body anyway. That said, the ribbing is knit on a US size 2.5, which is a 3 millimeter needle. And these, this ribbed, you pick up around the shoulders and the armholes, and you make these ties. These were all knit on 2.5, and as well as the ribbing on the bottom. So you start at the shoulders and knit the back first down to the ribbing, and then you pick up stitches at the shoulders and then knit the front and join in the round. Join the 2 fronts together. So you pick up one front, pick up the other front, join the 2 fronts by casting on stitches. And then I knit all the way to the bottom of the front, and then I actually picked up stitches for the neck because when I was done with those ties, I wanted to be done. So I did this was 8 inches of rib, so this took a while.
But it was your favorite mindless,
It was just
relaxing
round and round.
knitting.
But it's like the watch pot that never boils.
Yes.
You just measure and measure and measure, and you're like, surely this is, X number of inches. Surely this is X number of inches, But if I used a progress keeper, I would not have to do that. So, and let's see. And so the very last thing I did was, so for these long ties, you cast on stitches using a crochet cast on, which is, time consuming. So you cast on a bunch of stitches, and then you pick up stitches on the body, and then you cast on another over 100 stitches with the crochet cast on. So each tie is well over 400 stitches. And I did 15 rows of ribbing on the US 2.5. And
The longest 15 rows of your life.
I can't even. So each set of ties took me 7 hours.
Wow.
14 hours just for the ties. And this is knit flat, of course, so it's purling, so it's a lot of back and forth knitting. That said, I absolutely love it. I couldn't wait to have the finished object. This was definitely a project knit for me. Yeah, it really wasn't a process knit for me at all. So the phone is ringing and no one is here to answer it. So I don't know. Is there anything else I want to say about this? I love the ties. I love that it's sort of a blustery spring day. So I'm wearing knitwear, but I'm not hot. And I can just see wearing this over dresses. I'm wearing it with a skirt today.
Even over a little white t-shirt, a short sleeve t-shirt.
I thought about wearing a white t-shirt today over some linen pants or even with jeans, and I'm wearing it out to dinner. We're going out to dinner on Friday night with some neighbors, so I'm excited about that. We're actually going to Petite where we had lunch with Jennifer that we talked about. So yeah, I'm going to wear this. So I'm really excited.
That's so fun. It's really, really, really
done. So glad.
So
if it weren't for the accountability of this podcast, I last night actually cast on the second tie, and some of my cast on stitches were a little loose, and then I noticed a part where my ribbing was off, the stitches were off, and I thought, okay, you can cry or you can rip it out and do it again. you know?
Yeah.
So it was like the third strike and you're out. So a few loose cast on stitches. I got off on the ribbing, and then I actually had twisted my cast on. So I was like, okay, done deal.
That's it.
No use crying over spilt milk, and just rip it out. And I cast on again. Took me another 2 hours to cast on and to knit the
takes
first
so
row.
much determination to do, because
It really did.
that is, I'm not the one to put
I was
things
grouchy.
away.
I was grouchy.
No, that makes me,
Oh my
that would
goodness.
make me grouchy.
Yes. So I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. and I had, I don't know, 13 more rows to go.
I thought you were going to say 13 cups of coffee.
No. And I only drink decaf, so no, I woke up at 6. I think I put the dog out, and then I picked it right up. I haven't even looked at Instagram for 2 days, so. But it's done, so. Hallelujah.
Yay! It's
Yay.
really, really gorgeous. And maybe when we're done, if it's not too late, we can take pictures of each other. In
It's
our
always great when she takes pictures, because I don't have a photographer at my house, so.
And even my husband has gotten better at it. He is a photographer, but if you're not, like, if my daughter takes pictures, she kind of knows what I mean. I'll get a close-up of the yoke or get a close-up of the sleeve, and she'll notice when it's, like, bunched over or something.
Right. Or if your hair's in your lipstick
Yeah.
or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's funny.
Yep.
Cool.
So, FO, both FOs and what we're wearing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Do you have other FOs?
I do. They're silly ones, I think. Just, I just am adding another ball of yarn. Hold on a second. Let me just do this. And as I do it, I just knit both strands together and then drop one, and I'm done. Anyway, I was just going to say something, but I'll say it
You
later.
could totally spit splice that. So I did spit splice. I
could.
actually, for the first tie, I had some, bits and bobs. So I actually did spit splice to join those bits and bobs. And so then I started with fresh yarn for the second tie. But I did spit splice and worked out fine.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this project later, but I got so annoyed earlier today because the ball of yarn I just finished literally had so many either areas where they weren't even connected or knotted, or it was so thin. I thought, did the machine attack it? I don't know. So look, I did just a few stitches this time. And
that's a bummer.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but I just wanted to use the yarn, so I didn't, go back but it was really weird. It had so many
Wow.
places where I could have kept knitting because it still was one piece of yarn, but it was so thin.
Comment on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just that
popular
one ball.
yarn.
I mean, this is like the third or fourth ball I've used, and I had no issue with the other one, so it just must have been a fluke. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. So, a couple of FOs. Let's see. I have this pile of stuff over here. I didn't show. Where should I put all this stuff? Oh my goodness, I have so much stuff. So, by the way, of the yarn for my sweater, this is all I have left.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any extra trench, I don't think. I love it. Yeah.
I watched a new to me podcast that I can't remember the name of. I'll put a few podcasts in the show notes that I've been watching, but she literally takes her leftovers and knits them until they're gone. So she makes hats or socks or booties or whatever until her yarn is completely gone.
That's so cool.
Before she buys yarn for another project. I thought, wow, that's some diligence right there. Shows she has no leftovers.
By the way, this is kind of totally off topic, but I was editing today Jonna's this coming Friday is Jonna's Catching Up with Jonna episode, which will have aired by the time you see this next Friday. And you were talking about Rowan felted tweed for some reason. Oh, the granny square thing.
Oh, uh-huh.
I have tons of it left over from my
Oh, you do? Okay.
my
We
Orkney.
probably have the same colors because we bought it for the same project.
Yes. But I got 2 replacement colors. But yeah, so if you need extra,
Cool.
I'll give you my bag. That's all in one place. I am a little organized with that.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that class actually that I signed up for.
But after I finished Here Comes the Sun, I just wanted to do some quick, as people say, palette cleansers. So I knit my husband. I already had the yarn. I knit him an Oslo hat, of course. It's his first Oslo hat, and I made it out of Pasquale Tibetan, and it's gorgeous. And he wore it every
Loves
single
it.
day until it got too warm. He absolutely loves it.
Good.
And people were asking, I think I used 2 balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the leftover from the second ball. And that was perfect. So he loves it.
What size did you make him?
I made him a small this time.
You did?
Because when I made it for my son, his head measured that I should make, look at that. We both ended a ball of yarn at the same time.
Oh, no.
Did you bring an extra?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So when I made the Oslo hats for my son and my grandson in France, my son's head measured that he should wear the men's hat, which is the large. But it was too big. I mean, I told him, I think I've talked about this already. I told him to get it damp, throw it in the dryer a couple times, and just keep an eye on it. And it was fine. But I should have made him the medium. And then my grandson is also a little big, but he's going to grow. So who cares about that, right?
Good.
But then I was in here, and we had just heard that Max Sear, Max the knitter, was going to be here for Local Yarn Shop Day. And so I bought some of his Les Garçons, Max's Camo BFL Twist DK. And I made another Oslo hat for my husband immediately with that. So I'll insert a picture, but it has a slight camo feel to it. And
some thick fabric.
yeah, just 1 ball of yarn. Well, that's again because my gauge
Is so tight.
so much tighter.
Yeah.
But so Jonna made a point. It was so funny. I had it at her table, one of them the other day, and when I set it down, it stood up. Where your black
Mine are
one was a little floppy.
Yeah.
Funny. But anyway.
That color yarn, for some reason, is more floppy.
Yeah, it's funny.
Use the technical term, is a little bit more floppy
Exactly.
than the other colors I used.
I think that's definitely the technical term.
Yeah.
So he loves this hat as well. So
Good.
so exciting.
It's really cool.
And do you have a lot of FOs?
A couple.
Okay, go. You go next.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me grab this is my trusty sock bag. I absolutely love it. By Katie Did Bags.
Yeah, we haven't talked about
carry
Katie
this
in a while.
Everywhere. This is the first thing I ever bought from her. So I finished my sock tube socks.
Yay!
Yeah, my 2 at a time socks. So basically, if you watch the last episode, we were both going to knit socks 2 at a time, right? So I actually cast on
2 at a time on like
2
one
at
magic
a
loop.
time on one magic loop. Yeah. And I got this far, and then, no, and that's not true. I got about this far, and then I put them on separate needles, and then I was knitting them
Consecutively, simultaneously.
And then I don't know, I was in the car or something. I was like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm just going to knit one long sock tube. So that's what I did. And I made afterthought everything. Afterthought heels, cuffs, and toes, because I knit a cuff at one end and a toe at the other end. And then I cut them in half. Well, I thought I cut them in half, measure twice and cut once.
That was funny.
Yeah, so then I had to knit 19 more inches. But
That
anyway.
was so funny. Go watch her. Wasn't that also a catching up episode?
It's like just keeping it real
The
here.
March catching up
Yeah,
with Jonna.
just
That
keeping
was
it real.
funny.
And these are my first afterthought heels. And I have to say, I used the Kirby Werby afterthought heel tutorial, and I'll link it below. And I loved it. Okay. I loved it. That said, I finally, after knitting myself 12 pairs of socks, realized that I don't wear a size 64 stitch sock. So I cast on another pair of socks using 56 stitches. And so, when you...
So are those too big? They look huge.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
so when
I was going to pull mine out.
When you wash them, yeah, mine are 64 stitches.
And mine are 72.
Right.
But
They're huge. And then when you wash them, the superwash yarn stretches out. So, and then you wear them, and then it stretches out even more. So, and I'm not a loose knitter. I'm pretty much on gauge. I want to say 32 stitches for 4 inches. So yeah, so they're a little bit big. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. But anyway, this is the yarn I have left over. So I have 3 socks. 2.5 socks.
you know what you could do? Oh, I have an idea. Wait. So you could, maybe for one of your, I was going to say make like a hand warmer, like 2 hand warmers.
They're too big around, but yeah, I don't know. I think I do have a little bit of purple left.
Because you could like stop it here, like fingerless, you know?
Yeah.
They
I
would
could make it
fit
for
me.
myself. I could make them for myself.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You should just cut it in the middle this time.
So I cast on.
And that's all the yarn you have left?
That's all the yarn I have
Oh,
left,
wow.
yeah. I actually cast on, where are my notes here? Oh, okay. I cast on 63 stitches because it's divisible by 3, and I do a 2x1 rib because that's just less purling stitches. And then I increase by 1 stitch when I start the stockinette part. So a 64 stitch sock. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So anyway, I actually will probably never make a short row heel again.
So that was a short row heel? Or
No,
was
it's an afterthought heel. So this is just like the toe. It's shaped just like the toe. Look, just looks
look
just
at
like a
that.
toe. So it's just decreasing, and it's all stockinette. There's no purling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I really, really loved it. No holes at all.
No bumpy seam inside.
No
or
bumpy
anything?
seam,
Mhm.
which is my beef with my new pair of socks. That I don't know. They're still a work in progress. They're a half finished object. So while we're on the subject of socks, I immediately cast on another pair of socks because I wanted to try. I've got hair on them, like everything I own. I wanted to try the shadow wrap heel because that's what I told you to do in your socks. So I started knitting these consecutively, so one at a time, one right after the other. And this is yarn I got at Woolen Folk. It's Woolens and Nosh in the Sprout colorway. So it came with this cute little contrast mini.
Like, is it
It looks like
Tweety?
dirt.
Dirt.
It looks like dirt with the like.
It looks
the
like potting
vermiculite.
soil,
It looks
yes.
like potting soil with vermiculite in it. So yeah, super cute. And you know, when you're knitting stripes, you're like, oh, I just want to see what the next color is. I just want to see what the
Yes.
next color is. So, you know, these have gone really, really fast. In fact, I'm nearly done with the second sock. So I'm just about to start the toe. So the interesting thing, I learned a few things. So these are 56 stitches, and I actually cast on 57 because 5 plus 7 is 12, which is divisible by 3. So my 2x1 rib, and so then I decreased a stitch to start the leg and stopped to do the shadow wrap heel. And I used the tutorial by Ellen from the Chili Dog. I really like her tutorials. And I have to say, I did not enjoy the process of making this heel. And I don't like, there's definitely a seam. Oh, you're knitting. But there's definitely a ridge where the there's twin stitches and triple stitches. So it's different than the Fish Lips Kiss heel. They're both short row heels, but this one I feel like has a more noticeable ridge where those
Definitely on
turns
the
are.
inside. I don't feel it so much from the outside, but from the inside, you definitely can see the
And I'm one of
ridge.
those sensitive feet people. So I actually pretty much exclusively only wear seamless socks because, especially at the gym, I cannot deal with seams across my toes. So I do have sensitive feet. But anyway, good news is I believe I'm a 56 stitch sock person because once I wash these and block them, they actually fit on the sock blockers that I'm supposed to use for my size.
Right.
But I wear US size 8.5, which is like a European 39. So I thought, oh, well, I'm medium.
But you have a narrow foot. So.
I should always cast on medium. So I just thought, oh, well, it's something wrong with what I'm doing. But anyway, so the thing, though, about only casting on 56 stitches, and I won't get, too into detail, is because you have fewer stitches, you have fewer decrease rounds in the toe. So I needed to start the toe later than I typically do. So I'm pretty sure I knit this toe twice because I needed to add another stripe because my toe depth is much shorter than it typically
Because the depth it relates to how many times you have to decrease.
Right. I mean, look at the difference in the toes. The length of the toe. So it's kind of changed my whole sock knitting experience. But
you could change your color earlier if you wanted to. your,
I
to
could
your
and just
contrast
knit
color.
plain and just knit
plain
plain
a couple
rounds.
rows.
That's right. For sure, I could do that because I have plenty left over.
Right.
But then it also, if you're doing the shadow wrap heel or the fish lips kiss heel, whatever, or even the afterthought heel, your heel depth is going to be shorter because there just are fewer rounds to work around. So keep that in mind. I actually knit a few plain rows on my afterthought heel before I started the decreases, which I definitely could have done on this too. I could have just knit plain rounds before I started the wrap and turns. So yeah, so it's been an interesting experience. It's the same with the Oslo hat. When you knit a hat that's got more stitches around, your decreased rows are even longer, and so the hat ended up being too big, too big widthwise and lengthwise. So anyway, just kind of the newbie knitter issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, things the pattern doesn't tell you.
Exactly. Which still we do need to do
I have a huge long list
for a mini-sode.
Yes. So why don't you go on to your socks?
Yeah. So for my socks, I cast them on in January 2022 because I decided that year I wanted to learn how to make 2 at a time socks because I thought if I like to do everything 2 at a time. If I'm doing fronts or sleeves, not in the round project, but flat sleeves. I do them,
cardigans.
Baby cardigans. Once I made 2 baby cardigans at the same time.
At the same time.
On the same needle.
Yes.
Maybe I can try to find a picture and insert it. It was crazy. But it was so fun, and they were just both done at the same time.
For twins.
For twins.
Yeah.
Loved it. I think that was a little French knits pattern, right? It was so cute. And so I cast them on because I wanted to learn how to knit socks 2 at a time because I thought if I do that, maybe I'll be a sock knitter. But that was not the case. And I didn't use a pattern. I just asked Jonna, how many stitches should I cast on? And she told me, and I did it. I do what Jonna says. I do, actually, many times.
Only when it comes to socks.
No. Many times. I should have done I should have asked you first before I picked up those little...
Oh, the wings?
The wings on my...
winglets?
on my Here Comes the Sun. Anyway. So I knitted about down to where the heel is now and put them down, and I didn't do them again. But after I finished my Here Comes the Sun, I decided I wanted to finish some other things. So, and decrease my whip load. I don't have that many. But anyway, so then I said, and then what I decided is one of the reasons I don't wear hand knit socks is because I've only made 2 pair, right? One for myself. No, actually 3. The first pair was my very first pair, and I gave them to Elise because they were too small for me. And she still wears them and loves them. My second pair was for myself, and they're a little too big for me, and they're just bulky. And so when I wear them, like I would wear them with a boot or something, but there's just too much fabric. I mean, they're a little big anyway. They were colorwork socks, so I think I went up on the needle size for the colorwork part on the top, and it just made it bulkier. And then when I wear them, I don't want my sock to go up my pant leg high above the boot. I want it to really, in a perfect world, end right where my boot ends. I don't want all that extra stuff because I'm always too hot anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
It's like lake decorations.
Seriously.
They're so pretty.
And they're inside my pant. I don't... Well, maybe I could like cut them and then... I don't know. Anyway. So then I made another pair of Christmas socks, and they were way too small for me, so they became a Christmas present for Jonna.
Yay.
And so this is sock pair number 4. So all of a sudden when I picked them back up, I thought, you know what? I could be finished with the leg right now. And then there'll be the length that goes right above my boot, or when my boot ends. So I did. And that's why they
love them.
They kind of look funny.
Yeah, if you decide you don't like them, I will gladly give them a home because they're beautiful.
I might, because
they're so pretty.
I think they're a little too small on me too.
Oh, really?
I just knit so tight.
Yeah.
They're just a little too small, even though they're 72 stitches.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
So then I decided I asked Jonna what heel I should do, and she suggested the Shadow Wrap heel. She suggested Earth Tones Girl, Denise DeSantis, her version, so I did that. And I didn't mind it so much. It does make a little ridge inside the heel, so you might not want them because that might bother you. And the triple stitches and the double stitches are a little annoying to do, but it's over pretty quickly. The pain is over quickly. kind of like 3-color rows, right? But of course, what we love about it, the reason we do those is because it doesn't disturb the self-striping yarn pattern. So the only other heel I've ever done to compare it with is the heel gusset. No, the heel flap and gusset, which I love. I don't mind doing it. But that does mess up. The gusset messes up the stripe pattern. And then I knitted them. I asked Jonna, how long should I knit them? And she told me. And I sent her a picture of my foot in it so I can see this long or this long. But that's also when you realize, since I have more stitches, my toe is going to be longer.
Deeper, yeah.
Deeper.
So is that why they're a little bit big?
No. No, they're not big. They're too small. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know.
What kind of cast on did you do?
Just a regular, probably
a long tail
cast on. That might be why.
Right. You maybe should have
It's
done
not
the German
quite
twisted cast
as
on.
stretchy. Yeah.
They're bulletproof.
They are.
like the Oslo hat.
They're thick. They're
It's
gorgeous.
just-
The yarn is the Yarn Love.
They're like machine-made socks. They are incredible.
The Yarn Love. What's it called again? The Tiger sock set
Ugh.
from when we used to do the sock club.
They're so
I wanted to
pretty.
be a sock knitter. I did the sock club. I got all this sock yarn. We did a video about it way in the beginning. Gave a bunch away. It's beautiful yarn, but
It is.
and you can knit other things with sock yarn. You don't just have to knit socks. You can knit shawls and whatever you want. It's just fingering yarn. But I mean, they're beautiful.
They
I
are.
love them.
They are.
I did make one mistake in them. I got to the toe on this one. You see it? And I realized I didn't have enough stitches. And I looked back and I had dropped a stitch way back here where the needles met. One must have slipped off. So I went back in these teeny tiny stitches and I pulled them through the ladder all the way up. So there's a little bump because there wasn't obviously enough yarn to do it. So there's a little bump. But they're socks and they will be in shoes, and I was not going to rip it back for a silly sock.
And you can wear them for house socks too.
Yeah, there they are.
They're great.
So I love them. I worry about wearing socks around my house, especially on the stairs because they're hardwood, and I'm always worried I'm going to slip and fall down the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, we have carpeted.
Yeah,
Just our stairs are
I don't have carpet runners or anything.
Yeah.
And my room before it was in the basement, and I definitely don't have a carpet runner on there. So, I did use the Summerly Design School of Sock Toe, and that was easy for her. I'm So Basic sock,
Which is a free pattern.
free pattern.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I'm glad they're done. I'm glad I have one less whip and one more FO.
And you have so much yarn left over.
I do actually.
Yeah.
I have 2 balls like this. I don't have a lot of contrast,
Thank you.
but no, you can totally take it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean,
Wow.
you can't do anything with that.
They're
but
beautiful.
Yeah, and here's the label in case you want to keep track. And I already took pictures of them, so I don't need to do that. But
Well, thank
yeah,
you.
so I'm happy those are done. Done.
I'll make
and
her little shorties or something.
done. So my only other true previous whip is the primrose blanket. That's it. Yay!
Oh, you have a frog.
A frog.
Who's missing some
We're going to
appendages.
talk about him when you talk about your frog.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Which is somewhere.
Where's Mr. Frog?
Here he is. Okay, so we were both invited to a little frog along at Kim from the Knitting Posse's house, and you were busy that day, but I went. It was funny because I got in the car and it was warm. It was kind of humid that day, and I was wearing a sundress, and I drove. It's maybe 45 minutes to Connecticut from my house, and while I was driving, it was just torrential rain. I get out of the car and it's at least 10 degrees, if not 15 degrees cooler, and here I'm wearing a sundress. So
Oh, wow.
didn't wear the right outfit, but anyway. But they knew that our frogs were missing appendages, so they invited us to finish our frogs.
Because I think in our last video, we're like, help! Because is it Kate who had made a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, and she's actually teaching a class.
Yeah, you mentioned that in your Catching Up with Jonna video. By the way, you had today, which is now in the past, on Instagram, I posted the picture from Kim's house with the framed...
Okay, I have to tell you this story. So I walk into her house. She has a beautiful home in Connecticut, beautiful sunroom, and they're sitting on the couch and just surrounded by windows. She has a cute little dog named Remy, and I meet her husband, and I walk in, and, as one does when you're, somewhere new, you kind of look around, and I look at, there's a coffee table and it's got a photograph on it in a frame, no less. I look at the photograph in the frame and it's us.
From a picture the day before.
From a picture the day before. And I thought, okay, either these people have terrible taste in decor or this is a joke. And then I finally realized that, you know, it was a joke. But I laughed so hard. It was the funniest thing. And they said that when they, she said, you know, you have to know your audience. But they did it when Kevin and Ray came over to their house too. But she says sometimes when they go to people's houses, they'll bring a picture in a frame of themselves and they'll leave it somewhere in the house.
That's hysterical.
Like in the guest bathroom, in the powder bathroom or something.
That's
oh
so
my goodness. I just thought
funny.
I just laughed the whole time I was there.
Because you included
so
that, you know, when for my edits, Jonna includes pictures. So she included a picture of that little set
Yeah.
that little scene.
It was a side table with
right in the
had a
pictures.
plant and
Right.
a lamp and
It looked like it belonged there for the catching up with Jonna thing. But you didn't talk about it in the video. But I hadn't watched
I think I meant to.
Yeah, I hadn't watched your video yet. So today on Instagram, of course, again, this is in the past, I posted that picture and said, whose house is this?
I know.
And why is there a picture of us there?
I know.
And a lot of people have guessed your house. And then I replied, good guess, but a little too modern. Jonna's decor is a little more traditional.
Yeah.
But it's a good guess. And some people guessed, they didn't guess my house because someone said there's too many people there. Somebody guessed Kevin and Ray's house.
Funny.
But I did tag Kim in the picture.
Oh,
so
I
she said she
laughed
was
so
laughing
hard.
so hard.
So
but
funny.
anyway, so then I did insert it in Jonna's video, even though she didn't talk
I haven't
about
watched it yet. So.
Because I said, you know, watch Jonna's catching up video to find out why, and then you didn't talk about it.
know.
But it's
Oops.
okay.
Oh,
No
well.
big deal. No big deal. It's really funny. So now we're talking about it.
So anyway, my guy was pretty much complete, and I'd
By the way, if you just heard that little
I know.
moan,
the moan,
that was not my
Pearl.
stomach,
I know.
and that wasn't me. Pearl is here. We haven't seen Pearl, the shop dog, in a while.
No, she just
And
turned 2. Oh, I mentioned that already.
She's here.
Yeah,
Happy
I mentioned her birthday.
Oh, by the way, and Karen and Felicia came back, so we're not alone.
So we're not
anymore.
alone anymore. So yeah, I actually started his arms, and I think I completed one whole arm, and then I realized it just looked it wasn't in the right place. It was too close to his mouth, or not close enough, or something. So I frogged it, and and so he's just been sitting around doing nothing and waiting for appendages. But I decided to make the sweater for some. It's like when you're supposed to be working on something, and then you decide, I'm going to make a frog sweater. Or like you're supposed to be doing something, and then you're like, I'm going to clean out the refrigerator. It's kind of that thing. So this little sweater was knit flat, completely flat in one piece, and it was just genius the way it was constructed. And then I seamed it up. I thought, well, he really needs arms now.
Wait, what do you mean
So-
flat in one piece?
Flat in one piece.
How do you knit?
I know. So it was
Flat.
crazy.
And so the seam is up the back.
Seams up the
One
back.
seam up the
and
back.
then under the arms.
Oh,
There's one seam.
actually, it's kind of like a cardigan then, but the
guess.
opening is in the back. I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just really cool the way it was constructed,
That's
and
so
it was
cute.
really fun to knit. So, Kate helped me get she gave me the confidence to get the arms in the right place, and then so when I knit the legs, and then I threaded the wire through the legs. What she does is she threads the wire through the body first, and then you cast on for the arms, and you knit the I-cord arms around the wire. And she used a heavier gauge wire, so it's a little bit more sturdy. Oh my gosh! And did I? Oh, they're in here. Oh, I just used some random mohair. I don't even know what this is, and some random green yarn. I'm not sure what that is either, but I thought it made the perfect frog color.
It's really cute.
Yeah, and I gave you a pair of these too, didn't I? She
No.
gave. Oh,
But
no?
I'll take some.
Oh, I have some for you.
Well, I saw that you showed me during our Cable 3 Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I thought I grabbed another pair for you. I'm not sure if I did or not. Kim, did I? Kate? Anyway, Kate ordered these sneakers on Amazon,
so
I think, and they
cute.
came in she had to order a bunch of them. So I got some little blue sneakers, but he can't wear them because the wire is too fine, and so
Too flimsy.
I can't get his
feet in.
foot in them, but I'm going to What?
It's so cute.
Oh,
Karen's over here. She just saw the frog, and she's
the
like,
sneakers. But I can't put his feet in the sneakers. So I have to replace the wire if he's going to wear sneakers. But Kate said that if I do that, he'll stand up. The sneakers, he'll stand up. So anyway, he's done. His name is Graham. And everyone thinks he needs a friend. So, but maybe your frog can be his friend.
my frog can be his friend, but I think I'm going to send my frog to Rachel.
Yay. Rachel is so sweet. She emailed us.
Rachel is a viewer, and after episode 16, when I basically talked about my 3 other whips that I had in my, house, and one of them was the frog, and we were asking Kate to help us with our frogs, but immediately a viewer, Rachel, emailed us and said, I would love to finish your frogs. Just send them over.
So
she sent her address, and she said, they might come back with shoes on them. So, Rachel, I am intending on sending my frog to you. I just haven't had a chance. So I will make it happen. You might even get them before you see this video, before this video is even done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much, Rachel. That's so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah. So my frog can be your frog's friend.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so that was my only other FO.
Okay. Well, my only other FO is just a silly little thing. Last year.
Wait, sorry. I didn't say. It's a pattern by Claire Garland.
Yes.
Called Frog.
Yes.
And it's knit in DK yarn, or you can use any yarn, honestly.
Yeah.
And I used a US size 4.
Okay.
So a little fiddly, but her animals, and we've made her rabbits, and I made the Jemima puddle duck. Her patterns are crazy, ingenious, and usually knit in one piece, and a few seams here and there, but fantastic patterns and just beautifully designed.
I have to say, though, when I did the frog's mouth, I don't know what I was supposed to do. I just did something. Mine looks fine, but I don't think that's what I was supposed to do.
And I think she's done some video tutorials about that.
Since
But
then.
you basically pick up stitches and cast them off right away.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were confused at that point.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what to do. So anyway, I did the mouth, and it looks like a frog mouth, so that's fine. So this yarn I bought last year in May. My friend Beth, for my birthday, got both of us together. We went to Madison Wool in Connecticut, and we did a yarn dyeing class with, now I can't remember what it was called. Oh, well. Anyway, and it was really fun. And so the yarn shop, it was like on the back parking lot with a tent over it of the yarn shop, because dyeing yarn is a little messy. And it was really fun. But I went into the shop at one point, and I wanted to buy something like souvenir yarn, and I saw these gorgeous hanks of let's see, 222 hand spun, gorgeous hand spun yarn, like really bulky, sparkles. Just, it spoke to me. I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet. I might have bought 2. I mean, it's pricey, but each hank is a work of art. I mean, just imagine all the combining of colors, and they're done by hand by someone, probably supporting her family. This is her business, and they were just so gorgeous. I just had to. They kind of remind me of knit collage a little bit, but no fabric in it really. But I loved the yarn so much. So I think I bought 2 back then, and then I decided, I need 2 more, because what I decided to do is make each of my granddaughters like a little square mat or blanket. They can use it for their dolls or their stuffies or a decoration, whatever. So 1 hank per little square. And so I contacted the owner. What was her name again? I can't remember now. I think it might be Elise, but maybe not. And I bought 2 more hanks, and they've been sitting in my house since then. And so as another little palette cleanser, I thought, let me just knit those really fast. So I already knitted 2 and gave them to Scarlett and Ruby, and these are the second 2. So this one is for Harper, and it's just beautiful, right? I love it. And you won't be able to really see in the pictures, but it has sparkles, like this iridescent sparkle all throughout. And I didn't realize it was going to rainbow. I mean, when it's in the hank, you can't tell. I didn't realize it was going to truly be a rainbow. And so that I could use every scrap of the yarn. I didn't want leftover because then you leave out a color. I had a food scale next to me. And when I got near the end, after each row, I would weigh the remaining yarn and say, okay. And so one row took between 2 and 3 grams. Right. So some of these bind-offs were pretty close, but I did get to use, I have nothing left over from them. But on this one, actually, I got too close. Do you see anything wrong with this one?
Uh-oh.
I made the bind-off too tight, first of all, because I was really going to run out of yarn. This was the one time I actually finished this when I wasn't at home. I wasn't near my food scale. So I think I was in German class. I think I finished it in German class. And I kept pulling on it to make it wider because my bind-off was too tight, and the bind-off broke. So I found, of course, some of the yarn from all the millions of monster cables beanies I made, and I just used a purple. And today I did this. I took out the bind-off, and I just bound off with this purple yarn. So it's fine. And this is going to go to France for Daphne.
Aww.
So exciting, yeah. So those are just silly little things for my grandchildren. Yeah. And that's it for my FOs.
Whips?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first.
But are we going to talk about why you changed your clothes?
Yeah. This is actually a whip. And I really would have loved to finish it, but I have about 8 more rows to go.
It's really close, though.
Yeah, super close. I could have finished it, but I was just tired of knitting today. So anyway, this is my Saturday Shrug, a free pattern by Jackie Rose of the Caddy Jacks podcast.
Who's now our friend.
Yeah. Like, we know her.
Not really. Hi.
Yeah, we know her. Anyway, every time I saw a Saturday Shrug on Instagram, wherever, I was like, oh, I want one of those.
Yes, that is exactly how she was every time she saw one.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. And
by the way, so I was going to say, like a broken record, do you know that there's a whole generation of people who don't know
what a shrug is?
No. What a broken record sounds like.
Oh.
Because a CD or something like that, when it skips, just goes rear, rear, rear. But a record, if you don't know, a record, when it skips, when it's broken, it plays the same phrase, and when it gets back around to the skip, and it says the same thing, like, I want a Saturday Shrug. I want a Saturday Shrug. I want a Saturday, right?
I know. Oh, my goodness.
So she sounded like a broken record.
I did. And I came in here, and I bought yarn, and then I promptly returned it because I thought, what if I don't like it? What if I never wear it again? What if it's just a trendy thing for the season, and I've spent all this, made this big investment. So it took me a long time to figure out. And, I'm not a big stripe person either. But do I want a plain one? Do I want a striped one? What colors do I want? Do I want to go crazy and I thought my first version was going to be this like light powder blue with like a bright fuchsia, which I think still would be beautiful. And, so I went through all these iterations in my head. And then finally I said, you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to buy some inexpensive yarn, some nice inexpensive yarn, and go for it. So I was actually at Joann, which is a big box store here, and they had a really nice selection of Peyton's worsted, classic worsted, I think it's called, and it was on sale. So it was $6 for, now you're going to have to correct me, Hank? A skein. No, these are bullet skeins.
That's a bullet skein.
These are bullet skeins. So it was, like I said, it was on sale. I think it was $6 maybe for this 100 grams, 194 yards. It's worsted weight. And I've heard Taylor from the Wool Needles Hands podcast talk about it. And I love Peyton's Croy sock yarn. And it's 100% wool. So I thought, what the heck? So I bought this. And I bought the ivory, and then I wanted kind of I had this in stash. This is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino, and I had mohair already, that kind of matched. So close enough anyway. So I used this, and then of course, because I love blue, I decided to have one blue stripe. Now, I broke the bank on this. I knit 3 rows. That said, I have plenty left over to make a Sophie scarf. So then my original purchase was all moondrake to make the shrug. And, it's not inexpensive yarn. It's absolutely beautiful.
And worth the money, but
worth every penny. And it's just such saturated colors. And I think this is the Corriedale. Yeah, the Corriedale DK, 100% non-superwash Corriedale. And this is the Fua Fua, which is, I don't know what it's made out of.
gorgeous.
Yeah, just incredible. It's cashmere and superwash merino, 70% cashmere. So as you can imagine, it feels like, buttered kittens. So anyway, I wanted a little hint of blue. So where is it?
Here.
Okay, so I have a little hint of blue. And I just kind of winged it, I did the tubular cast on, which I highly recommend. It just gave just a beautiful finished edge.
And it's framing your face with that beautiful finished edge.
And I'm not going to do the white on the bottom, mostly because I'm kind of lazy. But anyway, I'm going to finish with the black on the bottom. And you can knit these so that there's no top or bottom, but this definitely has a top, I think. And I have to say, so that, there's a lot of hype out there. I mean, they not only look gorgeous, but I have to say, this is cozy.
Yeah.
It is very comfortable.
And it is on a barber cord. She just put it on the barber cord just now.
I have like 11 more rows.
A few minutes ago.
Yeah. And this is the rest of my yarn for the bottom half.
But yeah.
But it's snug. So it feels very cozy. And like, people are like, oh, it's like a hug. It totally is like a hug. I love it.
It's really beautiful.
In the meantime, I lost my coat that I wear every day, that black Ella Bean coat. Anyway, so, but I totally love it. And your arms are totally free. I don't feel restricted at all. And it's, I don't love having things just right up against my neck, but oh my goodness.
It just naturally kind of cowls like that.
I love it.
Before she put it on, I looked at it, I said, that is long. Because I'm used to cowls. Cowls are...
and when you stretch something widthwise,
it goes shorter.
It gets shorter.
But I said to her, you could actually make that a little longer and wear it as a strapless mini dress. It just looked like a little strapless mini dress. A tube dress. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So
I think
cute.
on the very first date with my husband, I wore a tube top. And my mom was like...
Was that the 70s? 80s?
80s.
Yeah.
I wore a white tube top with this white blouse with watermelons on it. And we went to go see Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. And my husband had he drove his mom's yellow station wagon. And he had on this like Italian silk shirt that he borrowed from his Italian uncle.
Oh, funny.
Oh my gosh. Just the things that, I don't know.
Do you have a picture?
No, sadly, I do not have a picture. But my mom was like, don't you dare wear that tube top out on a date with a boy. But I did. Anyway.
You wore a shirt over it.
Yes, I did. So anyway, yes, this looks like a big tube top. But anyway, it's knit on a US size 9, I believe. Remind me next time to make my notes a little bit bigger. So yeah, US 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter needle. Yeah, and I absolutely love it. And since the Saturday shrug came out, there's now the Sunday shrug and the Friday shrug.
And the difference is the weight of the yarn,
yeah,
correct?
I think the Sunday shrug is bulky. Oh, no, this is bulky. I think the Sunday shrug is, what's after bulky?
It's super bulky?
Maybe super bulky, yeah. And I'm not sure what the difference of the Friday shrug is, but free patterns on Ravelry, so I highly recommend it.
Yay!
I love it.
I love it too. It's really cute.
So this will be the next thing I finish.
Nice.
Yeah. So my socks and this.
I mean, you could finish that
I literally have
a half hour.
Rows. Yeah.
Maybe.
So anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will it be a tubular bind off?
Yes.
So maybe a half hour for the rest of the rows and a half hour for the tubular bind off.
And it's a real tubular bind off. So you do double knitting for a couple rows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just love the look. I thought it just looked beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Definitely worth the time. And Jackie has a video tutorial out on YouTube also, I think on their channel. So you can, have help with that if you need it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I'm so distracted.
By your stomach?
No, well, my stomach's growling, but I did eat. But because I have mosquito bites all over my ankles.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness, they itch so much. Today's a Wednesday, and Monday and Tuesday I decided, you know what, it's still cool outside, but it's sunny. I'm going to go work in my garden. The last time I worked in my garden this early was the spring of COVID when it first hit, 2020. And I actually created a whole new garden at the bottom of my driveway. Took out all these big, huge, overgrown, invasive plants and made this beautiful garden. It still doesn't have a lot of flowers in it. I'm a flower gardener, by the way. I don't have enough sun or flat land to do vegetables. So normally my tradition is I clean out my gardens on Mother's Day weekend, and then I plant flowers here in the U.S. on Memorial Day weekend because my birthday is always around Memorial Day. Like I said, this week, Monday and Tuesday, went out and started just cleaning up a little bit. And so I was outside. It was so fun. Hours. I'm so sore. But I realized last night as I was getting into bed that I have mosquito bites all over my ankles.
You know what really, really helps for that?
Tell me.
Lavender oil.
Okay.
Lavender essential oil. So
I'll have to go get some because it's killing me right now. I mean, like,
we have
seriously.
these flies called black flies here. I don't know. They're all on the East Coast. I don't know if they have them.
Canada has them.
Canada has them. So we don't have them on the West Coast.
Maine, they're really bad early
Yeah.
in the,
So I grew up on the West Coast. We only had mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have ticks either. So anyway, I'm allergic to black flies.
Oh, wait. Can you wait a second?
Yeah.
Starting off a new ball of yarn, the same thing.
Oh, no. You should definitely message them on Instagram. So this is Derirum Natura, Gilead. Is it Gilead?
Mm-hmm.
Or in?
You see? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just...
And if you were a spit splicer, you could totally spit splice them.
Yeah, I mean, I could. It doesn't matter. It's,
Yeah.
it's just
I would
weird.
message them.
This is the
Or
second.
I bought it for you as a gift, so I can message them.
Yeah. It's just weird. Anyway.
I have to look back at my email. Anyway, I'm allergic to black flies, and usually they don't come out until Mother's Day, and then they disappear by Father's Day because it's too warm.
Yes.
Or I think it's their breeding season.
Right.
And so I wasn't expecting it to be black fly season yet, and I got bit by a black fly. And I'm mildly allergic, not like EpiPen allergic. But the lavender oil worked as well as the Benadryl cream, better than the hydrocortisone cream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I even have prescription hydrocortisone cream. So, I get a bite like this big that lasts a month. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so lavender oil, essential.
Yeah,
oil.
I think I might be mildly allergic to mosquito bites because I get like a little blister on each one.
That's what I do too.
And I haven't put anything on them yet because I don't have anything.
Or
at
hand
home.
sanitizer in a pinch, the alcohol.
That would feel so good right now.
I know.
That little sting.
Or a hot spoon, evidently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
I have one of those, totally off subject, but we got one of these like bite suckers. It's like a plunger.
Oh, wow.
And you put it on the bite, and we did it on mine, and it didn't help. But
I remember when I was younger, I don't know if
help for
everybody did
mosquitoes.
this, but like with your fingernail, you would make like an X in your bite.
but then when it
Doesn't
started
work.
itching again,
It doesn't do anything.
as bad as before. Yeah.
Anyway. So,
What have we been talking about?
who knows? Who cares?
Gardening.
Gardening, yeah. And you had just finished talking about your first whip,
Oh,
your Saturday shrug.
that I'm loving.
Yeah.
This is the first time I put it on, so I have it on barber cords.
So, do you want to talk about another whip? Because I only have one.
Sure. What's next on my list? Okay, the Dealey sweater that's in my lap, actually. And I talk about this in episode 17 also. But this is a pattern by Irene Lynn. Let me turn it around so you can see the front.
And I'll hold this side so it's not in front of your face.
I saw this, I think as I saw it on Instagram, and I just thought, oh my goodness, that is a beautiful sweater. I had no idea the stitch pattern. I'd never made anything by Irene
soft
Lynn
like a
before.
cloud.
Well, it is blown
So
yarn.
light.
So it's made out of Kama Rose Snefnug, which means snowflake in Danish, I believe. And in the colors Lys Beige and Sort, which is the black. Let's see. I knit the size 2, and that will give me a finished size of 44 inches. Let's see. Oh, I didn't write the size range actually. So size 2, 44 inch bust, which is 112 centimeters, which will give me quite a bit, 8 inches of ease, I guess. On a US size 8, And I love these really long
They're
stitches.
beautiful.
It's just, it looks scalloped. And I love everything about this sweater, including it's fun to knit. I believe it's half brioche. It's not half fisherman's rib. It's half brioche. So the wrong side looks different than the right side.
Very different, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no knit stitches at all. Like something that we would look like a knit stitch. You know what I mean?
Nope. So I'm
beautiful.
absolutely loving it. And I have a few more inches to do on the body before there's some more scallop detail at the bottom on the hem and then also on the sleeves, the cuffs. So I'm excited to have this.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really loving knitting it. It's a fun pattern. It's very well written. There's no increasing in brioche. All the increases are done in this raglan shape. In here, they're just make ones, so super easy.
I love that design detail there.
Yeah,
It's really
and
beautiful.
if it said in the pattern description it was going to be half brioche, I would have said, oh, no, I can't do that. But because it didn't say, I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad you
I'm
didn't
loving
say
it.
that,
I
yeah.
love this really deep ribbing at the neck, and it's a nice wide neckline.
neck.
I can't remember.
It looks tubular.
It's tubular. It's a tubular cast on also.
Definitely looks tubular.
Yeah. So anyway, I love it. And I have another whip that I'll talk about later that's another Irene Lynn design. So
Nice.
I'm having an Irene Lynn moment.
Nice.
Yeah. And she's come out with a few new patterns since this one. Very prolific. So
Great. Okay. Actually, you might want to talk about it. I should finish a row before I show you this because I can't. Well, maybe I can show you. Okay. Can I? Let's see if I can do this without it falling off the needles. So if you haven't been watching, if you're a newer viewer, last fall I had the viewers choose my next sweater. They voted on my stash is sweaters quantities of yarn already matched with patterns, and I don't change my mind. I decide that's what I'm going to knit. I don't pull the yarn out and use it for something else. So I had about 14 at that point that I had purchased throughout COVID, partly to support Pick Up Every Stitch. They were closed for so many months. So I would see something and say, Felicia, pick out yarn for me. Anyway, so the viewers voted, and they voted for Here Comes the Sun first. That's why I knit this. And then I decided I was going to knit the rest of the queue in that order. So the next one was my Decision cardigan. Jonna had purchased the yarn for me for my birthday 2 years ago or last year.
I want to say it was last year.
Okay.
Well, you had sent me an Instagram picture and said, whatever this is, I want to make it.
Yes.
So I looked up what the yarn was, and the pattern wasn't even published yet.
No, it wasn't published yet. And so she bought me the yarn, and when the pattern was published, I immediately bought the pattern. And so I cast it on. I first did my gauge swatch like a good little knitter. Let's see. Here it is, my gauge swatch. And I started with the suggested needle. And this gauge swatch was, you were supposed to knit the gauge swatch in the pattern and then block it. So I cast on with the regular needle, and I went up, I think, 2 needle sizes, and I still didn't get gauge, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about. But I did block it, and by then, though, I saw a pattern. Are you okay?
Yeah, I should not be doing this. Well,
Did you make a mistake?
it's okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no, I shouldn't be knitting this,
That's
honestly.
okay. But you can, I mean, that's what we do as knitters, right? I can hear that little bit of stress and
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that in a minute. So it is the Decision cardigan by Anka Strick. And it's called Decision because you can either knit it with a higher collar and a zipper, or you can knit with no collar and no zipper, basically no closure along the front, which is what I'm intending. If I feel like if I wear a cardigan, I only would maybe button the top 2 buttons sometimes. I never button them all the way down. So I may look into somehow creating maybe a crocheted, or maybe a hook and eye. I don't know. Maybe a decorative hook and eye on the outside. I don't know if I want to close it. But anyway, and the yarn it was designed in, and actually the yarn that she was knitting the sample in, Anka Strick, is the, how do you say the name of this?
Derirum Natura.
Yeah, Derirum Natura
Ulysse.
Ulysse. And It's 100% wool in the Bouleau color. Is that Bouleau?
Mm-hmm.
And then Ito Sensei in Glacier. And it gives it a little bit of a blue hint. Not as much as that original picture I saw on Instagram. It looked much more blue. I don't know if I've noticed when we take pictures, depending on what the background is, changes the color of the item so much.
And then people can put a filter over it.
Right, whether they enhance the color or whatever. So anyway, I love the yarn combination. So Jonna bought me all that yarn, and I was ready to go. So if there ever is a pandemic again, I have enough yarn at home. I don't have to buy anything. So let's get into this. I did the suggested needle size. Okay, is this crazy? I'm like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this correctly? And this has happened once before, and it wasn't on another Ankastrick project because I didn't gauge swatch for that one. But you're supposed to use a US 2.5. My interchangeable needles doesn't have a 2.5 in there, so I already know I'm a tight knitter. I went up to a 3. So I started the gauge watch at a 3. The gauge is supposed to be it's supposed to be 26 inches. 26 stitches for 4 inches, right?
Wow.
With that tiny needle.
Right.
How can that be? With a US 2.5, I checked the pattern multiple times, and that's what it said. So I started with a US 3, because that's what I had, and I had 34 stitches, not 26. Then I went up to a 4, and I had 32 stitches. And then I thought, I'm not going to go up to a 5, because I'm still way off. Let me go up to a 6. And so with the 6, I got 28 stitches, so now I'm only 2 stitches away. And I realized that each needle size adjusted by 2 stitches. So if I had done a 5, I would have probably had 30. So I didn't go up to a 7. I just decided I'm going to knit on a 7. But how can that be? So unfortunately the camera unexpectedly went off. So what was I talking about?
The gauge.
Oh, the crazy gauge. So has that ever happened to you where the suggested needle size is 2.5 and I'm using a 7, a US 7. And my gauge is right now, but yeah, crazy. But I think I was talking about how, because I did my swatch with a US 3, US 4, skipped 5, did a 6, there was like a pattern in how much it adjusted the gauge. So I realized a 7 is probably perfect.
Wow.
So that's what I'm using. This pattern has 9 sizes.
Oh, wow.
See? I'm learning from Jonna.
Yeah, and I did none of that today. I was just crushed for time.
I was too, but anyway. And the finished bust of all the sizes together is 35.5 up to 67. And I'm making a size 4. And what else can I say about it? Well, I don't even think I showed you yet, but I got pretty far. Yay! So this is the one I've been knitting on while we're here. So for some reason my De Rerum Natura Ulysse is broke in the balls. It's broken. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, but it's still knitting up beautifully, and it does expand and relax when you block it. I mean, that's why you're supposed to block your swatch for this one specifically, because it opens up a bit. The cables kind of open up and relax, and I love it. So the design of this, you cast on the back first, all across the back from here to here, and you knit down to the underarms, and there are some increases right before the underarm, right before you get to the underarm, some increases. Did I say that? And then as you start the increases, it becomes 1 by 1 rib. I think that helps, first of all, with sizing, with what's it called when you make the different sizes? Grading it, right. It's easier to grade with a panel on the side.
Right.
You don't have to grade cables and then do all this crazy maneuvering of cables.
Right.
So the cables stop when you get to this panel of 1 by 1 rib. And then after that, you pick up stitches along the shoulder seams, and then you're supposed to knit the right front first and then the left front, but you know me, I do them at the same time. So I picked up stitches for both, obviously 2 balls of yarn, and then I realized very quickly that to do some shoulder shaping, there's actually short rows. in the cable pattern. Eek! So I did the short rows on the right side first, and then I did the short rows on the left side. And when I did the short rows on the right side, now I've been so excited to knit this that I usually rewrite all of the instructions into my knitter's planner, and it helps me to process and figure out what's going on. I find I just understand it better. So I didn't do that, of course, because I just wanted to knit. And for these short rows, there was like 1 cable short row, go back, 2 cable short row, go back. Then it skipped a cable and then another short row, go back. And I thought that was weird, so I put all 3 of them right after each other on the right side. And then when I did, and then, I don't know, the way it was written was weird. Maybe there were 4 altogether. I just misread it. So the way I did it on the right side, I ended up doing it on the left side. I just did the same thing. I mean, it's slanted. It's still slanted.
Right.
And so then I did both fronts at the same time down to the underarms. And you match the shaping. And then joined it under the arms. And I'm continuing. So look how far I am.
Wow.
Isn't it so cute?
It has long sleeves.
It will have long sleeves. Yes, you're supposed to knit, I think, 13.5 inches before you start the rib. I haven't decided yet how long I want it to be.
It's going to be really warm.
And then I think the sleeves right here at the top also have rib.
Oh, okay.
I think that also helps with shaping and grading. And then the cables don't start until here, but that kind of goes along with the sides. It kind of matches.
I'm really curious to see how it blocks, after you wash it.
It's just so lovely. I'm so excited. So thank you so much for the yarn. I really, really love it. And
It was nice to know what to get you for your birthday.
it was, I'm sure. Oh, the cables are really interesting. They're actually a 5-stitch cable.
Oh, wow.
Not a 4-stitch. I'm used to 4 or 6. It's 5 stitches, and the middle stitch is always purled. Isn't that interesting?
Are you using a cable needle or no?
Nope.
No.
And she actually gives 2 sets of instructions. One for using a cable needle, and one for cabling
nice.
without a needle. Yeah, so it's really
I
cool.
usually have to look up a video for that.
Right, yeah.
So I think we have company. Oh, no, never mind.
So
False alarm.
False alarm. Someone walked right up to the door and looked in.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
I thought she wanted something.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my only whip at this point, and I love it. And I'm hoping it'll be finished by the next.
I have no doubt.
Actually, I do have something that I'm planning, and I've swatched for it already. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. So I got so excited when we made our little summer top video that I cast on, and I already had this yarn in stash, so I could just go grab it. I don't know if you've been watching for a while. I was going to make the Tulip Guernsey by Midori Hirose, and I downloaded the pattern, and every single line of the pattern is written out, and the pattern is multiple dozens of pages. And I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm not sure.
You're ready
I'm not
for
sure
it?
I can do this. So I have this yarn in stash. It's another Kama Rose yarn called, and I don't know how this is pronounced, Love Tanned, but I know that it means dandelion in Danish. And it's 100% linen yarn. It's a chainette. So you can see the little chains.
Love might be Löwe. Because Löwe is German for...
Levitant. Levitant.
Yes, I think somebody said the O with the line through it, you pronounce like an O with an umlaut, with a...
Right, in German.
Löwe, Levitant.
Levitant. And it's blue and it's beautiful, and
Beautiful.
I love it. And it's actually pretty soft for 100% linen yarn. Usually
Wow, it
they're
is.
super crunchy, so I think it'll be really drapey. Anyway, I cast on the Rota sleeveless top by another design by Irene Lynn.
Yay!
And the pattern calls for worsted, and I think the sample is made in a cotton and acrylic yarn, which I wasn't gonna. I just don't buy garments with acrylic in it, so I don't think I'd use it for knitting, especially for a top for myself. You know, for baby knits, that's a whole other.
Or charity knits, things like that.
Yeah.
easy to wash.
Anyway, I had this yarn in stash, which is technically a DK yarn, but I saw that other people had used Lena from Sandnes Garn, so it's a similar weight. So, and actually the inspiration for this totally came from Karen, who's Casuarina Girl on Instagram. She made a beautiful, like a blush colored one. And she just is she's stunning and she just does beautiful work. So I love her wardrobe, her hand knit wardrobe. And she's a sewer too. I guess we call them sewists now. I don't know why. So yeah, I started at the back. So you cast on stitches for the back. And it's an all over lace pattern that involves a little bit of 2x2 cables and yarn overs. And then there's some nice rest rounds with just some ribbing,
beautiful.
Which is nice. And on the side, and I just made one of the first 4x4 cables right here.
That.
Right. So there's side panels. So there's larger cables that go down each side.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. So
that's a detail you don't really notice in the picture.
Yeah. I knit the back to the armholes, did some increasing, and then picked up for the front and knit my fronts one at a time. They also have short rows. And then you cast on stitches to create the entire front, more increasing, and then join in the round. So I've just started to knit in the round, which is lovely.
Yes.
And this went pretty quickly. I think I made this in about a week. I can't wait to see it blocked out. Let's see. This, I'm making size 2 in the longer length. So the cropped length is literally, like it ends
just under
right below your bust. Yeah. So not for me, but, so my finished garment should be about 39.4 inches, which is a 100 centimeter, bust. And I'm knitting it on a US size 4, which is a 4 millimeter, needle. So I think there is maybe one more repeat, and then it's got a split hem with a lot of ribbing, and then I'm going to pick up stitches around the armhole and the neck for more ribbing. And I already have plans to make a second one, and in fact we bought yarn today.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so this falls under acquisitions, but I'm going to make a second one out of Sandnes Garn Lena in this
that'll be perfect.
kind of ivory color, I guess. Yeah, so you've used this yarn before, but I
Yes.
haven't. So it's actually pretty soft.
It is, and it gets softer when you wash it.
So, and this is washable, I believe. So it's cotton, viscose, and linen.
Yeah, I still lay flat to dry, but
I never know what all these little symbols are.
I know.
It's like, I'm not sure is that a dryer? Is that a washer?
I know.
Is that an iron?
The universal symbols
I
for
know.
how to clean your garment.
Anyway, we both got a little stash of this today. So I'm excited to make my second one. So hopefully I have this done. So here's the deal. If it's cool at Maryland Sheep and Wool, I'll wear this. And if it's warm, I'll wear this.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. That's the plan.
Will you wear it with something under it?
Absolutely.
So you won't be
Otherwise
exposed?
it would be, I will be exposed. Big time. I actually have a camisole exactly this color.
Oh,
but I
nice.
might wear a flesh colored camisole too. And probably my linen pants. Depends. It's often, we hear from other viewers that it can be rainy
Wet and
wet and
muddy.
So
Yeah.
who knows? I
Wear
might be
your
wearing rain
galoshes.
boots and, denim, jeans and a sweatshirt. Who
Yes,
knows?
exactly.
We'll see what the weather's like.
Just want to be comfortable.
Yeah, but I'm anxious to get started on this again. So
Nice. Oops, I just pulled stitches off my needle.
gosh, a lot of them.
It's okay.
And I made a mistake on my Dahlia sweater that Karen is hopefully fixing for me. I'd be able to fix it myself, but she's
Not while we're
the
filming.
expert, so I guess I'm deferring to her expertise. So no, not while we are filming. So, yeah. So I just have a couple acquisitions.
Okay, my other one can be considered an acquisition, so go ahead, do your first acquisition.
You sure?
Yeah, I just want to try to fix this.
So I ordered this book from Lina Magazine. It's called Moosh and Friends, and they sell it here. And after I finished before I finished the frog, I love to make little toys. And I mean, these are seamless animals. They start at the tip of the nose and all made in one piece. And they are just the cutest. This little guy, this bear, Moosh, and he's got striped pajamas on,
So cute.
and oh my goodness, I just had to have the book, so I gave them my money, and I got the book in the mail, and it's absolutely beautiful.
I love how you always say, "Okay, fine, take my
Take
money."
my money. I'm just like, okay,
You're so cute.
okay. And then I was watching Sarah from the It's a Sarah podcast. She is a knitter living and knitting in the Netherlands, and she has 2 daughters, and so and a niece, and so she's making sweaters for them. And I believe she actually made herself a sweater out of this yarn, but I saw her talk about this yarn on her podcast, and it's long yarn. She used to work for them. Long yarn Frida.
It's beautiful.
And it's 100% superwash, but I just thought, she just made this beautiful, stripy sweater, and I thought it would be adorable for my granddaughter.
I saw that in your bag. And
So
wondering
I
what it
actually got
was.
2 different colors.
Oh, it's
and
so
I'm not
beautiful.
sure if I'm going to like helical knit them or, combine them, or this might be for Scarlett and this might be for Eleanor. I don't know. So anyway, I went to yarn.com, which is Web's big superstore of yarn, because they carry this. And then to get free shipping, of course,
Had to buy extra.
I put a couple things in my basket. I got 2 skeins of this Regia Merino yak sock yarn, and I've made socks out of this before, and they are beautiful. I actually gifted them, but I got 2 skeins of this, and then I wanted to try the Rowan sock. So I got some Rowan sock. I thought
Wow.
this was pretty.
That's
I don't know,
really
maybe I'll
pretty.
make some socks for my husband
Love it.
out of this. So anyway, that was my Web's free shipping purchase.
Nice.
So
Fun. Okay, so I have 2 acquisitions. One was just from today, but I'll talk about the other one first. So I am going to the Mayak knitting retreat in Italy in June next month with Joji Locatelli. So I have never knit a Joji pattern, so I thought, oh, let me knit one really fast
in my spare time.
in between my queue. But I decided I wanted to make a cardigan. I actually messaged Tohi. She is a follower, or she subscribes to our channel, which is from early on. So sweet. Hi, Tohi. I haven't met her. Have you met her?
I have not met her.
No. I wanted to meet her at VogueNet Live, but it was so busy. Yeah. I'm sure she was crazy busy. But I messaged her and asked if she had a suggestion, what her favorite pattern was. She suggested the V-neck boxy, which is adorable, and I probably will knit it, but it's really oversized and it's in fingering, and I thought that's going to be a lot of knitting before I go to Italy. But even the one I chose, I just don't know if I'll have time. It's I'm knitting it in this is my acquisition. Oh, Mayak Baby Yak lace in healing blue.
My goodness,
Isn't it just gorgeous?
it's really soft.
So I'm knitting it in a double strand, so then that means it's a fingering, right? Lace double is fingering.
Double fingering.
And I'm knitting the sparkle cardigan. It's named the sparkle because her original yarn had sparkle in it, but I'm not putting sparkle in it. So it's a lightweight cardigan because it's like lacy. It has these little holes in it, which are made kind of like with
Almost look like a cable.
little, yeah, kind of. I'm not sure I'm doing them correctly. But in my swatch, I did start with the suggested needle, went up a needle size. I haven't even checked to see what my gauge is. But then at the top, I did the pattern. She did suggest that so that you kind of know what you're doing before you get started. So I did block the swatch, but I did not even check what my gauge is yet because I'm not going to start knitting it yet till I finish. So I probably will be knitting on this when I'm there, not wearing it, but still it'll be something fun, and it's just so soft and beautiful and lightweight.
Just beautiful. I actually have this yarn in stash.
Really? Oh, yeah, I think I remember when you bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so I'm really excited about that. Then my other acquisition, again, when we did our spring and summer knits video, I just fell in love with all of them. They're all beautiful, and I think I said I didn't really, summer knits weren't on my radar, but I really like that twist top by the twist top. I didn't write it down because I didn't know I was going to be handed the yarn
It's got
today.
a little like knot in the
A little
front.
knot here, short sleeve, a little knot right here. I'll insert it and put the name in the captions. But it was, I think the original was knit in Lena, and so I told, they didn't have this color or your color in stock, right? And so they put in an order here for us, and they asked what color I wanted, and I just wanted something bright and fun. So this would be so cute with jeans or a little skirt. So this beautiful pink Lena for that twist top. Won't that be cute? Yay! And someday I can wear it to get my hair done and say, I want this color. I do that a lot, actually. I'll wear something with the color in it and say, I want that color. But yeah, so that's it for my acquisitions. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, that's it. Sorry. So, do you have a favorite thing?
So while I was spending 14 hours knitting the ties on my Amy Slipover, I planted myself in front of podcasts because it was the only way I was going to stay in my seat, honestly. So I've just been, whenever a podcaster recommends another podcast, then I go down the rabbit hole of, watching different podcasts. But I did find a new to me podcast called Danish Musings, and the host is Hella, and she is a Danish woman who has lived in the United States for a long time, but recently, I don't know if recently, but who lives currently in Denmark. Did I say Denmark?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, she's Danish. She lives in Denmark. And she has a lot of videos on YouTube, but a lot of them are travel related. She only has 5 knitting podcasts, and so how I found her actually was I Googled, or I put in the YouTube search bar Anne Wenzel. Anne Wenzel, that's her name. And because, you and I talked about maybe doing a knit along, or we both want to knit Anne Wenzel patterns. So this YouTube channel pops up, Danish Musings, and she has knit several Anne Wenzel sweaters, and including the spot sweater, which you have to see. It's in combination with these
That's the one I want to knit.
Gray browns
Yes.
and blues and ivory, and it's just stunning. So I love her aesthetic. She uses a lot of neutrals and a lot of Danish yarn, and I definitely watch her 5 episodes, and I think she's got the knitting bug, so she'll definitely be producing more videos. But yeah, I guess Hella from Danish Musings is my favorite thing.
Your favorite thing?
Yes.
I don't have a favorite thing this month. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's been kind of busy, and then I was gardening for 2 days, so
Yeah.
I feel like I have to.
I know what your favorite thing
What's
is.
my favorite thing? Tell me.
We had a member Zoom,
Yes.
and it was so fun.
It was. Yeah. I love for our Cable 3 members, we changed a few of our member perks. And if you want to see them, go to only on certain devices. If you go to our channel and hit the join button, you won't automatically join. It will just tell you what it means to join, what the different levels are, what the perks are. And we added this perk for the Cable 3s, which is the $9.99 per month level. And so once a month, we Zoom with our Cable 3 members. And we had so much fun. We just did it. Was it last week?
And it's like our own little knit group.
Yes.
We don't have a knit group.
Our own virtual knit group. Yeah. And
we
so
just show what we're working on, and they show what they're working on,
Yeah.
and we just chat. And
we decided every 3 months, it's once a month, but 1 month we'll do it on a weekend. 1 month we'll do it during the day on a weekday, usually an afternoon, and then 1 month we'll do it on a weeknight, so that whoever's schedule around the world, and I mean around the world because my family couldn't believe it. Of course, we had Pat on, and Melissa, and who else? Mercedes, Tara, Carmen, aka Karen, and another Karen V. But one of them, who was from New Zealand?
Melissa
Was it Melissa
was
from
New Zealand, and it was 11 o'clock the next day there when
Yeah.
she was Zooming with us. But what we didn't realize when we were on is Carmen lives in Spain, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. So I actually messaged her on Instagram the next day and just said, "Oh, it was a pleasure to meet you." And
Yeah.
I said, "Was it 3 o'clock in the morning?" She said, "Yeah, she had taken a nap
Yeah.
and woke up."
I've
to Zoom
done
with us.
stuff like that when who was it? Marie Wallen was doing some little live things during COVID, and I would wake up insanely early, like 4 a.m. and listen. Yeah.
I got up at 4 a.m. to buy a new to den yarn from Sweden.
That's knitting devotion for you. But yeah, so what was my favorite thing? Just doing the
just
Zoom.
the Zooming with
it
members, I
really
don't know.
was. It was it was
It was
so,
really fun.
and it's so relaxed because we don't have to prepare anything. We don't have to write notes. We don't have to, we can just hang out and knit with each other
Right.
and knit with people. And everybody, this time we asked what they were working on, and
what they were planning on working on.
Yes. And then we asked them to submit possible questions for future Cable 3 Zooms that we could all answer. What did someone say? Your biggest knitting fail was one, maybe? Anyway, so that was really fun. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that was fun.
So if you want to become a member, check it out. The content for regular viewers doesn't change at all. I mean, it is what you see. But for members, there's a little bit of extra that goes on. One is our Facebook group.
And we're releasing videos every Friday at 10 a.m.
Yes.
So we have 4 episodes a month.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
It is. I was wondering if we should take a little break on that for the summer, but we'll talk about it.
Especially in May. When you have a busy
Yeah, I have.
month in
In
May.
July, I'm crazy busy.
Everybody in her family was born in May. So.
Yes. It's just crazy. Anyway, so, so that was that. That was definitely my favorite thing. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, we didn't talk about these things yet, did we? We wrote down the notes.
And the what the mannequins are wearing is always in the show notes and the yarn and things. But this is a pattern by Knitting for Olive. It's called the Olive Cardigan and the Sophie scarf.
And those are both in Julie Asseline Fino held with Anatolia. Anatolia is
And
Julie's version of mohair.
This color is just
Oh,
glorious.
it's so gorgeous.
Yeah. And this is the Dartmoor pullover? Or
V-neck.
V-neck.
By Caidree, Caidree. And then this scarf, is it a scarf or a shawl?
A shawl, the Moon Bumps.
By
Maxim Sear.
Maxim Sear,
Yeah.
Max the Knitter. And this is in Moondrake Fua Fua and Spin Cycle. And this was knit by Laura as a test knit.
Who's a member of our channel, who is also Yarn Ensembles on Instagram.
Oh my goodness. Her tassel
so she
is
made tassels.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish, well, I'll try to get a picture. And then behind Jonna that's Beth's, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the No Frills in 2-color in stripes, by Petite.
And we're not
Knit.
sure about the shawl, but I'll get the info and put it in the show notes.
There's a matching shawl.
Yeah.
And the yarn is Sylvan DK and Camellia which is Camellia Fiber Co. Yeah.
And it is so soft.
It's
It's got a little bit of silk in it, I think. Silk and alpaca.
And the scarf, the shawl is a combination of crochet, granny squares, and garter stitch. So if you do both, this is the pattern
shawl
for you.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
beautiful.
So I think, I don't know.
Now
is
my
that
stomach's growling.
it? Then we really must be going along
Yes.
because you usually snack throughout the day, right?
I do.
It's a long time for you without a snack, Jonna.
It is a long time for me to be without food. I don't know. I've been that way since I was a kid. Yeah. So anyway,
I guess that's it.
yeah. Thanks for watching.
Like, comment, subscribe,
Yeah.
share.
Okay.
We're getting kind of close to 15,000 subscribers. I mean, we're getting close to 13.5, which I consider close to 15.
So a ways to go.
Another
but
1,500.
that's okay.
So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Exciting. I'm definitely in a place where we didn't think we'd be. So
No.
no.
But it's fun.
And thank you for everybody for commenting. I mean, I read all the comments.
Yeah.
You eventually read all of the comments.
I do. I read them all. I don't. Jonna answers the ones that are kind of general to both of us, and she leaves the ones that are for me typically, and then I
Right.
answer those. But I read every comment.
The comments are, especially from this last video, which was episode 17, was just so sweet.
Yeah.
You know, just some really, kind. It's so nice that people take the time to write a comment. So anyway, thank you for your comments. It really does make our day.
Yeah, and in the last episode, we had all the whispering in the background, which was funny, and everyone was like, "Don't worry about it." Jonna recorded a little. Well, the reason we wanted to record the little intro though is because I know if it was me, I would be like turning my computer off. Is somebody in my house? Like it
And
was
somebody actually thanked us for,
Yeah.
that it was, something that would have bothered them. So
Yeah.
anyway, but then in our summer knits episode, we had the air conditioning on because you were hot.
I was so warm.
And when we sit on that side of the store, it's just extra loud.
The air conditioning
So we
thing was-
apologize for that.
It
but
was really loud.
Yeah.
Someone said it sounded like ocean waves, and we're like, okay, we'll go with that. We wish we were on a beach somewhere.
Yeah,
but-
so they cranked up the AC before we got here so that it would be cool when we sat down.
and we turned the AC
And we
off.
turned the AC off. So
So
this microphone is crazy.
it is. A year and a half in, we're still.
Still figuring it out.
I have this cheat sheet that I check before we start. Video shoot checklist, and there's scribbles watch out for sun glare.
Right.
No printer. No AC. No whispers.
I know. I mean, when we're at home at my house, you know, people live there and the garage door goes up and down. So we don't really apologize for that anymore. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny.
Yeah.
But
So
that's it.
thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
It's so quiet in here. It's crazy. No air conditioning. Karen and Alicia want to come in here.
We should get one of those clackers. Take one.
Take one.
Take two. Let's just enjoy it.
I'm going to knit myself a sweater.
Camera on.
Camera on.
And plugged in. Yes. Microphone. Oh yeah, microphone on. And plugged in. Lights on.
Just how many
And plugged
days
in.
we must
Plugged in.
have weather.
I did focus and frame the camera. Wi-Fi cell phone connection. I did.
White notes.
I did. Cell phone silenced. I can't silence my stomach growling.
I know.
And I did eat
I
lunch.
always eat before I come.
Warn others that we're starting.
We're starting.
Nobody's here. Oh, my stomach. No AC.
Yeah, if we start taking our clothes off.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you make it longer, it could be a strapless mini dress.
Oh my gosh, you gave me that black mohair, you know, to finish my shrug. And you had started pulling from the center. So I just kind of, I didn't realize I grabbed the end. And I realized after I'd attached it that it was coming from the center.
Oh, no.
Oh,
God forbid.
no.
God forbid you pull from the center.
About 5 times or 7, but I can't deny I'm going to need a little more than just some thought that I adore to keep me warm at night.